my Vice President of the Chamber who will give the official welcome address. In the meantime, we'll continue with business. We appreciate your participation, and as Mr. Sharma said, the essence of these conferences is thought sharing, sharing learnings, and to get valuable inputs from you. Business reconstructions, acquisitions, mergers, demergers, slum sales, this is the order of the day. One of my younger colleagues quipped and sent me a WhatsApp that reconstruction seems to be the order of the day in the country, let alone in business. We just saw reconstruction, acquisition, merger, demerger, everything at the same time in create efficiencies, to release value, to eliminate competition. There can be so many good commercial, financial reasons for such merger, demergers, acquisitions, etc. These may be friendly, they may be hostile. We've not yet seen too much of hostile bidding in India, but globally it often tends to be hostile, particularly when it's investment oriented, fund manager oriented. There is a lot of money out there. Their ability to invest is huge. And if it's a small, medium investor, promoter controlling his mid-size or small, big business, it is very difficult for him to resist their power or financial power or business power. There are other reasons. Core competency purpose, revival of sick units, IBC. Any number of IBC cases are going to be accompanied by acquisitions and business reconstructions. More often than not, how do you revive a company without somebody else coming in? If it could operate the way it was operating before, why did IBC happen? So there are assets, there are undertakings, there are businesses out there for sale, or joint ventures, in whole, in part, in different combinations. And there are combines that have been formed to try and get the best advantage of this situation. So whether you are in consulting, whether you act for your corporate, I assume you are here because the subject is of interest to you. And we all tick the box that IBC. Reconstruction provisions override these specific provisions? Or do the specific provisions, such as I mentioned, override? But if I have a situation whereas I'm perfectly entitled to continue to carry forward my loss, if they are going to say कि साहब आपके पास loss है, वहाँ profit है, तो ये तो आपने tax avoidance के लिए किया है, there is something which is not right. And I'm not talking academically. These are things to be kept in mind. And we are speaking to the authorities, to the lawmakers. We are placing these points. And we are saying, please do what is best for the country, for the economy, for the people. And if you have an objective of tax neutrality, if you have an objective of creating Indian MNCs, if you have an objective of the economy moving forward, then take it to its actual objective conclusion. Don't let subprint or somebody's negativity come in our way. Having said that, God is there. I don't know if somebody will touch it. But yes, it comes in at 3 crores, which is a sum of money reasonable. But if you are a largish, medium or large crop, 3 crores today is not too much money. When they will come. You have a lot of little things. Is the acquisition price paid by shares as in equity shares, does it also include preference shares? Does it include debentures? Or why not? Is a prescribed country positive business reconstruction or development happening? Yes. Now whether I pay by equity shares, preference shares, debentures, cash, I have paid. Why create that subprint? Why let me go and argue that this is covered in any case. This is permissible. There are concerns there. Entries, this budget spoke that if you have Ind AS and under certain circumstances the transferee passes entries in a certain way, okay, you will continue to get your benefit. But we requested, we have not yet been heard, we will request most respectfully again. How do entries in the books of transferee matter? My tax is computed as per provisions of the Act. It is the Act which is decisive, not entries in the books of account. For every little thing involved, depreciation, cost, capital gains, owned by previous owner, carry forward, there are specific provisions of the Act. Now whether he enters at today's value or at Ind AS value or at cost, how does it matter? What was the transaction value? That is what you will tax the transferor on. But again, a little something has been done, lot has been left. There are so many other points which are there, but in all fairness, we must listen to the speakers. And with these words, I thank you for being with us. I hope we've been able to touch the sort of thing which we are discussing or what is involved. It is very interesting. But yes, there are opportunities and challenges. And you would be well advised to consider them very carefully, err on the side of caution, lest you get into litigation, which will then go on for a long time. It is my very proud privilege to welcome Mr. Sanjay Agarwal, Vice President of our chamber. He says he's not a friend of taxes, but in my discussions with him, I have found that he well understands.